time. Um, Hey, welcome to another edition of the Freight Traffic Podcast. I am your host, Mr. James Roberts, and on today we have a guest in studio on the camera. She's came in. She's decided to do an interview with us, the Freight Traffic Podcast, and I promise you, I'm finna jump into this because I don't want to hold her up. She is a very busy lady. Her name is Miss Rachel Barnes, and uh she goes by the Diesel Diva on TikTok. And I just want to thank her for coming on. And without further ado, we are going to introduce Miss Rachel Barnes.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fine. I want to thank you first of all for taking out a moment of your day to you might want to adjust the camera just a little bit. Bring it in. Right there. You good. You good. I got a banner up with your name and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So I want to say welcome to the Freight Trapping Podcast. I want to thank you first and foremost for taking our time to be on here with us today and to sit down and talk with us. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the invite.
Go ahead on and let you introduce yourself to the people, give all your handles and everything, and we'll get started.
Well, I'm the Diesel Diva, aka Rachel Barnes. I'm Hutton last. But um I've been driving 8 years. I have a trucking company with my sisters, and I'm also a company driver for a company in Nebraska. I have a nonprofit that I'm trying to get back on track because COVID totally screwed it up, but we'll be back. But my biggest thing is, just trying to help people in trucking, period.
Mhm. I find that that's what we all trying to do, and that's why I decided to do the podcast because I think we're all like-minded individuals. Sometimes I see on TikTok and get on there and I look on YouTube and it's a lot going on. I mean, even in the culture of trucking, there's a lot going on, and so I just want to come on and let people tell their stories like yourself, right? And so that's why I started it. So let's jump into this. Tell us where you were before trucking.
I was in the medical field for 13 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just dissatisfied. I was tired of it, and I had to do something different.
So what made you decide trucking?
I really don't know. I really don't know. I think the biggest thing was that I was afraid of it.
You was afraid of trucks?
I was afraid of trucking, so I tried it.
So you somebody who like to conquer your fears.
Not in everything, but I mean, in this specifically, yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's a real interesting concept because for me, I mean, I studied trucking for about 2 or 3 years even, but I knew this is what I wanted. You see, you're on the opposite side. See that's what I'm trying to do because you meet people and you get totally different aspects of how they got into this game. You see what I'm saying? And
Yep.
what I like about it. So from your feet, once you jumped into it, where did it go from?
Well, it was initially it was just a wealth of learning. You know what I mean? Trying to get accustomed to what my job was, learning what it is I'm supposed to be doing out here.
Mhm.
Um, After that, it kind of tapered off, and then I said, okay, something else need to happen because I'm not trying to be out here for 30 years.
Mhm.
So I decided to do the business, and my sisters and I, we got together, we got a truck and put it on the road, The rest is history for now. But we still trying to do more though. I mean, I
But
definitely do.
but what made you guys come together and say, "Let's get a truck and put it on the road"? I mean, what motivated you? Because you were scared of the truck first and foremost. Because I know at the end of the day, if all else fails, the driver of you guys' truck, if that driver decides to start his own company, leave, they have you. You have your CDL. You can jump in.
That's true, but he not gonna do that.
I I dig that. What
He
made
not gonna do that though.
you what made you guys come together and start that company?
Our driver,
And he must be a brother, a husband, or something.
our father.
Ah,
Like I said, he ain't gonna do that.
ding, 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 ding. Woo! Hey, that just goes to show that behind every good man is strong women. It's strong women.
Yes, indeed.
And man, I promise you, he probably driving with no worries. He
Oh
probably
no.
he probably the most comfortable driver on the road.
Yep, you
And
gotta be.
yeah, the reason I say that is because he got his girls taking care of his business.
That's
How's
right.
dad been driving?
Mm, maybe 16 years. I'm thinking.
Okay. So what did he do? He over the road?
No, he was mostly. Well, he did a little bit of it, but mostly local stuff,
Okay.
U.S. mail and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
fuel.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, he okay then. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, doing okay. All right. But probably should have told him join up and cam up with you and come on here with
I don't even know where he at right now, child. Ooh, it's hard keeping up.
you. So let's dig into your background a little bit. We're gonna jump into this topic, of course, all week long. I know you've seen me posting
Hmm.
on TikTok. We're gonna jump into
I
that.
want to hear about it.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna jump into but right now this is about you. So
Hmm.
family life. What you looking like? You got kids, you got a husband, you got a boyfriend,
Divorced and single, no kids.
no kids. So we got that out the way. That and you're moving around trucking.
Right.
Now I seen on TikTok you said, what was that you said on TikTok I seen one day? You were talking about the skills, and that's one of the videos I did too, because I seen you say something about the skills when it comes down to trucking. When you were saying on one of your TikToks, you said, "Man, y'all need to stop trying to jump to the top when you just started in trucking.
Right.
Your skills up," and that was made me do my TikToks off for you. And I just want to give you that props because that's what I do. I kind of look at what other truckers have on their minds because
Hmm.
we in different areas, and then I'm like, man, she made a good point. She made a good point. So, where was your head when you did that?
I keep hearing, especially nowadays, people want to get into trucking, or they about to make all this money. They about to make all kind of money, and I'm like, is that all? It has to be more than that because it's more than just getting paid out here. You got to deal with too much. You might decide by the time you get your first check, you don't want to do it no more. A lot of people do
Hmm.
because they're not getting the fact that there's more to it than just getting money.
Talk about it. Talk
I
about it.
mean, I done had some very scary situations out here, and so have a whole lot of other drivers, But
Mhm.
those things will really make people, hey, let me hang these keys up. This ain't for me. You know, I've had no accidents of my own, but I was in a rollover accident when I was teaming when I first started driving.
Ooh, let's put a pin right there. How scary was that?
Extremely. That's why I don't team anymore. That's
Well,
it.
you was in the bump.
In the bump.
Mm.
Yep. No
Ooh,
fun at
mercy.
all.
Lord have mercy. And then you continue driving even after you.
Well, yeah, I look at it because I wasn't driving when it happened, so I can still trust myself,
Right,
but I don't trust nobody else.
right. I could never trust nobody else driving me in a truck. I promise you. I've never done teams. I trained the guy one time, and he told me a lie and told me he just told me he knew how to drive 18 wheeler.
Yeah.
But what he didn't tell me was that he didn't know how to drive manual.
Mm, okay.
So I'm thinking I'm going to Rock Springs, Wyoming
Mhm.
from Houston. And so I normally would leave out, by 24 hours earlier than what I did because I was driving by myself. So I waited to leave out at 2 o'clock Sunday morning to get
Mhm.
for Monday morning. When we got to the truck and got in and we got situated, I explained to him the route, what we was gonna do, how long I was gonna drive, how long he was gonna drive. We checked the load and everything. We got in the truck and he looked down. He said, "Oh man," he said, "It's a manual." I looked at him. I say, "Yeah, man. I only drive automatic. Drove automatic." I look. I did just like this. I said, "Oh man." So I kind of had, but I was doing a friend a favor, trying to get him his cousin a job. Now, he knew how to drive, but he couldn't drive a manual.
Mhm.
So at that point, I had to decide whether or not I was going to take him on the road with me, and I had to because I had a Monday drop off point. So what I decided to do as a trainer, I trained him while on the road how to shift, how to double clutch.
Mhm.
And what I did was get into a 230-mile stretch, I would put him in the seat.
Right.
And because he doesn't have any traffic, plus we were, moving at night, we didn't have any traffic, and I would let him drive. And once we got to the city limits, I would
Yeah.
get and I would drive through the city limits, get us out, then put us back on the highway a long stretch, and then I would get back in the seat. But that was the hardest, and I didn't get any sleep because you back then you started hearing them RPMs, you know,
Mhm. Yes,
you
sir.
try to figure, hey, what's going on? I'm steady looking out the curtain, you know what I'm saying? So, but I totally understand. But that was my first time. So back to you in that rollover situation. Um, because I was also involved in the rollover situation. What do you know what happened for that made him roll over?
I still can't make sense of it. Like we was just outside of the shipper. We had just picked up a load.
Wow.
So it was in a on a back road in Georgia, Dalton, Georgia.
Hmm.
So I know there was a curve. I know it was raining,
Hmm.
but I felt it. I felt it happening. I could tell that he was trying to catch it, but at some point I was like, "Oh no, that steer tire done left the road. Brace, brace, brace." Yeah, I'm like, he can't get it back. He can't. I
Yeah,
don't know really what happened. I can't say.
yeah, my rollover happened in Colorado. I was running uh portable container loads for Univar, and I had went up there with a company. I had just first started driving tankers, and I went
Hmm.
there and I was running a load to one of the Halliburton pumps. And so when I got back there, I had a spring ride truck. And no, everything was spring ride from the truck all the way back to the trailer.
Hmm.
So when I got back there, I got on and it was daytime, and Colorado was windy, and we going down those roads going into.
Hmm.
And so I'm steady bumping, steady bumping, steady bumping. I'm trying to watch my mirrors, they shaking. I'm trying to watch the trailer, back end of the trailer, but then there's dust coming up, and
Yeah.
they have these like leveled out ditches where they're not deep, but they're just enough.
Hmm.
So before I knew it, the back end of my trailer had then the back tires had then went off into the little ditch area. And by the time I knew it, the liquid and all of that had then already.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, it wasn't a big boom,
Mm-hmm.
like a little layover. Is what.
Yeah.
And so even with the just lay down, no liquid came out of nothing like that. Uh we were good. I was good. But at that point, you know what I'm saying, we had to get, car laws out. But I didn't get ticketed or anything like that. It was just a big deal with the company. And so it wasn't no big deal. But that was scary though. It
I
was
bet.
it was scary. So so how many sisters run the company? How many sisters involved with the company?
3.
Three. What's the name of the company again?
Nicole Sisters, Tank Line Inc.
Tank Lining. And you guys specialize in what?
Fuel.
In fuel,
Gas.
gas. And so you guys, you kind of, well, what do you, what, explain that. What do you guys do? I don't want to get too much into your business or nothing like that. Just what do you do? Do you find loads or how is the,
So we're contracted throughout the DFW area.
okay. So
So
y'all,
the loads are there. Hmm.
what you guys are located in Dallas?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And so y'all just kind of contracted out, in which your truck is contracted out in the Dallas area, which is your dad
Right.
who drives the truck.
Right.
And who do you drive for?
FCC.
FCC. And what lane are you in?
Southwest Regional. So basically, I go from Texas to Nebraska, Iowa, and back. I ride the middle of the map.
I don't miss that. Ooh, I don't miss that Nebraska snow.
Well, I'm from Chicago, so the snow don't bother me. The wind is my problem.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. I can handle it, but ooh, I don't miss it.
It's about that time too. I
Yeah,
swear.
I done been through 70 West up in Vail. I used to run that all the time in Colorado. Yeah. So are you pulling what you pulling? You pulling box trucks, flatbed, you doing the skateboard, what you doing?
Drive in.
Drive van. Anything go on there? Or is particular you got a contract? What you doing?
No, I'm a company driver here. So wherever
Put
they
on there.
want me to go, I go.
Whatever they put on there.
Stress free.
You ever picked up any of those Gaylords? Those big,
Mm-mm.
those big plastic pellets?
Mm-mm.
You never picked up. Okay, because I seen some DC trucks down here where we are down here in Houston, and that's what I seen them picking up. So just tell us a little bit about your career and some of the things you've experienced, and you know what I'm saying. What your experience is like on the road with the company you are now. Is that the only company you've been with, or is that your first company, or what?
No, this is just the last company I'm gonna be with,
Okay,
unless it's my company.
okay, dig that. Let's back up and take us through your experience as a driver to any young trucker, whether they be male or female. Your experience, where you started from, how you got to this point where you are in your career from your experiences, through whatever you drove, containers, flatbed, whatever. Let's get your story.
Well, I went to truck driving school, and um, I left there and went to Trans Am. I think that was my first one. Yeah, Trans Am. I left. No, when I was at Trans Am, I started team driving. I hired because I was leasing then, and so that's when I started team driving. And my first team driver, he was a very good driver. He a driver over here at this company right now today. Um, but we did a lot of California to Georgia, California to Pennsylvania. Um, and actually, let me back up. The first company was Western Express,
Mhm.
and I missed them because I really didn't drive for them. Like, I went through training and then
Mhm.
I left. And that's because I didn't know any better. I didn't know anything about the trucking industry or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So had I known, I never would have went there to begin with.
Right.
So that was terrible, terrible company. But I
Mm.
had a horrible experience with a trainer that you know, he woke me up at the top of Vail Pass in Colorado and said, "It's your turn." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." I get in the seat. I didn't know I was on top of a damn mountain. I had no idea, no idea whatsoever. Um, and then when I seen it, I'm like, "Well, you just gonna go to bed? You ain't gonna say nothing, help, nothing. You'll
Right.
be all right. You'll be all right." And he had this huge Confederate flag on the back wall. He was really something else. I had to end up leaving him at the truck stop one day, and that's when I left the company because he had used the bathroom on himself in the drive seat
What?
and expected me to get up and drive. And
Oh.
so when I realized what was going on, I'm like, "Dude, you're not gonna clean that up like nothing." And so he goes and gets a bleach bottle and he's spraying it all out. I can't breathe. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Me, I got to get out of here. So I ended up calling my folks when we was going through Illinois. So I'm like, look, meet me in, I forget, Mineola. What, I forgot the name of the town, but meet me at the truck stop. And when we got there to get fuel, because I ended up having to cover the seats with some big bath towels and some of his shirts
Mm-hmm.
and like whatever to get there. And when he went inside, I got out, got my I was already packed. I got in the car and I was gone. I was gone.
So
But I mean,
what was going on with him? I mean,
I don't know. He had mental issues. I really believe that. I really do because he would yell out, "Oh, I'm gonna wreck! I'm gonna wreck!" While I'm asleep. Don't nobody need to hear that. Waking up, like, what are you doing? You know, I, it was
and
a lot of different things, but
you
this
know,
is me trying to become a truck driver. You know what I mean? Trying to learn something. So I stuck with it. But then that last incident, I was like, I'm gone. I'm out. And the company never even called to see why I left or, what was going on, what was the issue, if I was all right. They didn't care. They didn't care.
I
So,
I, tr-
huh?
I truly hate that. I've heard more horrible stories like that from female truck drivers than I have from male, and I just hate that you guys. I hate that you guys have to endure that kind of stuff just because you want to get in the truck and because you want to learn because you. I hate to hear that kind of stuff because that stuff like that just it really just pisses me off because I just feel like if it was a black male, he wouldn't have done that. He wouldn't have done that because there's no way if you're a trainer for a company that you would do something like that to a new driver who's coming in, learning the game, knowing that okay, I'm already nervous, or I got a little anxiety about
Man, everything.
getting in the truck, but now you're sitting there, oh, I'm gonna crash. Well, what kind of mess is that? And that really pisses me off. And that's one of the reasons why my wife and I started our training academy. And so because I love to teach, I love to see people learn. I don't go out over the road like that with them, but I love to see, teach you guys, give them the skills that I have, and then they can build on top of what I teach them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I hate to hear you had to go through that, but it makes you a better driver, and then it teaches you. I guess it teaches you how to treat people. Not
Absolutely.
right, right. I hate you went through that. Continue.
Well, I mean, I look at it now and I'm like, it's what happened. I'm glad, I came through it and everything was okay, and I've learned what I needed to learn because he didn't teach me shit. Like I pull up to the truck stop. He like, yeah, park over here. And I'm like, okay, how? Like, you hollering set up, and I'm like, I ain't never heard that term before. What does that mean? I don't even know what you're saying right now. And now he mad. He want to take the wheel. Okay, fine. Do you?
Woo.
A mess. A mess.
So what did you go after that?
That's when I went to Trans Am.
That's when you went to Trans Am,
Mhm.
and so from Trans Am, what do they how do flatbeds? They do
They slang meat over there. Reefer.
oh they got oh I hate reefer.
You know what? I loved it for the simple fact that was the first thing I ever did.
Okay.
Like, for real. You know what I mean? So I didn't know any better. I didn't know anything else
Right.
until I got to Cowan. And that was very brief.
Okay.
I left Trans Am and went to a company called Quest.
Questliner?
And huh?
Questliner or just Quest?
What was it? Quest Inc. I think.
Oh,
They're
okay.
in Georgia,
I was,
Cartersville, Georgia.
oh, okay. I was Questliner and they were tanking company. Okay.
Oh no.
Okay.
They were a reefer company.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Um, that's when the rollover situation happened.
Okay.
And let me tell you, I had planned on coming back to work after I, healed up. My partner, nothing was wrong with him. He was in a seatbelt, you know what I mean? So he went back to work like regularly the next day. I was off for 2 months. I really wasn't ready physically to come back to work, but I had to come back to work.
Right.
Okay, so I
Mm.
pushed it.
Mhm.
And I told them, I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. And in the meantime, I had gotten a workers' comp attorney
Mhm.
because their communication was just really off to me. And I'm like, well, what's going on? What's wrong? So I'm like, okay, they deal with this all the time. I don't know what's happening. So I need somebody on my side, solely on my side.
Right.
And
Exactly.
so when I told him to let them know that I was ready to come back to work, they emailed him a termination letter for me. Said that I was terminated for safety reasons because I didn't have the little belt thing to go around the bump. hmm So I applied for several different companies, but what I need to say is every company I applied for, and I was honest, I said I was terminated. They all came back and said, no, you weren't. Quest said you weren't terminated. So I'm like, okay, so y'all knew y'all was full of shit, basically. Y'all knew y'all wasn't supposed to fire me,
Mm-hmm.
but they did. They lied and said that, told everybody else that checked on my employment there that I didn't get terminated, but they told my lawyer that I was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So where'd I go from there? Hirschbach. I was leasing at Hirschbach again, slanging meat. And well, I mean, I was a meat slanger. That's what I did. I
you
do.
just not finna drop that on my podcast. Like
Yes, I am. Look, I get how it sounds, but I'm a funny creature, so it is what it is. But yeah.
it's okay. I'm just saying I'm not gonna just let you say that and not make you clear that up.
Oh my God.
All right. He was
Meat that you. Well, damn, I can't say that either. Okay, well,
no, just
who
you can say it. You was a me, meaning that you ran
called me?
down the highway. Okay.
Right.
Yes,
hmm
go ahead.
So let's see. Um, Hirschbach was okay. I leased for them. I did pretty well. But I left there with the intention of getting a job that had me home more.
Mm-hmm.
so that I could work on my marriage because it was falling apart. And that's when I worked. I left Hirschbach and went to Cowan. So Cowan was a disaster, a huge disaster. I mean, I was there for like 2, 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time I started with Cowan, is when I realized that home wasn't gonna get fixed. So I left there and I called FCC. They had me a plane ticket ready in Texas. I was gonna leave Georgia and my marriage and go and move to Texas, and that's what I did.
Mm-hmm. So
And I
that
have been here ever since.
I'm gonna tie it in. I'm gonna tie it into what we gonna talk about after you. So FCC. So basically, you just been driving reefers your whole career.
Well, now I've been driving mostly drive-in.
Mm-hmm.
The first half was
Reefers.
reefer. Hmm.
And now, do you guys you have to get a lumper or what, or you just bump the docks and it's no
Now this company, they're prepaid pretty much everywhere.
okay.
So every now and again, and I mean maybe once or twice a year, I get a lumper, but they're prepaid everywhere, and majority dropping hook all the time. So
That's always good.
yes, it is.
Dropping and hooking is always good.
Yes, Lord. And it's good to be with a company that actually cares about their drivers, which I didn't think those companies existed until I got here.
Mm.
And I can, I have proof about that because for several different reasons, but
Mhm.
one of them is I was injured last year on some ice in Nebraska, and
Mhm.
I was off for 3 months.
Mhm.
And this truck was in Texas with me the whole time.
Mm.
Like they didn't call me like, "Hey, you have to move out. We're finna send somebody to pick up the truck. It's a brand new truck. You need to be making money." They didn't do none of that. None of that, and that's like almost unheard of.
Right.
They take care of their equipment. Every 8,000 miles, I'm getting a service.
Hmm.
So we won't be, on side the road looking crazy, waiting on the wrecker or whoever. So I mean, they're consistent with their pay. They don't mess it up. They
Mm.
do whatever they can for you for your comfortability, so you can do your job.
And you say the name of that company is FCC.
Fremont Contract Carriers.
So if you guys are looking for somewhere to go, you got a driver that vouches for this company. She works there. Fremont Contract Carriers.
Yep, Fremont, Nebraska.
If you're looking for a job, there it is. Good deal, man. Good deal. So I'm sitting here and I'm wondering, since I'm gonna just jump right into this. I'm gonna jump right into this.
Okay.
I made a video this week because I thought about something. Me and I don't know if you know Flatbed Diva on TikTok, but she was on and we were talking about female, male, and specifically black truckers
Mhm.
and how our relationships are on the road and how we deal with each other.
Mhm.
And she was saying she had an opinion about some of the female truckers, how they are towards the male truckers. And I was saying I know how some of the male truckers are toward the female truckers because
Right.
it's still fairly new for me and for other truckers to see females in trucking, especially black females. You've always had Caucasians or other ethnicities, but for us to see our women in trucking is new to us. And you see
Mhm.
more and more and more and more in all varieties, right? And so she was saying how, you know, we were having a conversation about the relationships and we're gonna do a panel. And I want you to keep this on your mind because I want you to be a part of it because we finna talk about something. As a man, as a black man, I'm not putting what my wife can or can't do, right? But when it comes to trucking, I'm in it. I've seen it. There's no way I'm going to allow my wife to drive over the road in an 18 wheeler without me. What's your opinion on that?
The first question I would ask is, what if she wanted to? Despite what you think, what if that's something, because y'all have to come together and talk about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if her take on it was, well, this is something I want to do and I want to do it by myself,
Mm-mm.
it's a no for you?
What I would do is, like I said, what I would do is if that was something she really wanted to. This is my last company I work for. I'm going to work for. When I'm done, I'm either going. I know I'm going into full time academy mode, training, teaching, everything. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But if she had decided that she wanted to get out, she wanted to jump in the truck, and she wanted to drive, I say, okay, I'm finna quit my job. We finna buy a truck. Whatever we gonna haul it, which I'm gonna probably tell her we're gonna just get in the tankers. But being that she's brand new, she won't be able to do it. So we're probably going to do flatbed or box truck work for about 3 years until she get her experience up. Then we'll jump into the tanker lane and we will drive. Yes, if you want to do it, you're doing it with me. You're doing it with me. The reason being is because I know the security risks when you're out here on this highway. I've seen men get tried and done in on this road.
Mm-hmm.
So for a female to be out on the road by herself, solo driving, I couldn't sleep at night. I couldn't. I promise you, I could not sleep at night. It don't matter if we had kids or not. I couldn't sleep at night because I am protective. I'm not one of those guys. Yeah, go get it. I'm gonna stay at home. You go get it and come back. Nah, that's not me. That's not me.
But you don't have to just stay at home. You could be working at home.
But I'm just saying that's the mentality that it would take in order for me to be. You see what I'm saying? I would have to be a man who relies solely on a woman who really don't care, who wants a woman to go out and get it and come back with it, which that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I would have to have that mentality in order for me to be okay with her out there on the road. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, no, no, no.
Come on.
I was going to reference something, but I don't want to do that because they're not here to defend themselves, so I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
But um I understand your position,
Hmm.
but so what you're saying is, okay, I it's a safety issue for me, right?
Hmm.
So if she's saying, yeah, I get it, I understand, but I really feel like this is something I want to do on my own, you still be like, no.
No, she can do it if she was a city driver coming home every night.
No, 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 over the road.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Well,
Because
that,
because let me tell you, you marry and you fall in love with and you make a life with a person who's like minded like you.
mm-hmm.
I am not trying to hold her back from that passion, but she has to understand who I am as a protector. I
So in your eyes, that's a compromise.
yes, because
Okay.
at the end of the day, even when I leave my house, and I'm not even over the road. I was single for a long time. Um, Before I got remarried, I was married before, and me being over the road in that first one, was probably what trucking is a hard industry. It's hard on relationships. It's hard on your body. It's hard on your mind.
Yep.
I mean, it's a hard career period. And
Yes, it
you,
is.
yeah, yeah, it's hard all the way around. And so at the end of the day, you have to jump in. Let me tell me your opinion about what I said and where I stand with it. What's your opinion about that?
My opinion is if that's what you and your wife agree upon,
Mm-hmm.
she said her piece, you say yours, and everybody is coming to a common ground,
Mm-hmm.
that's our business.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Personally,
Mm-hmm.
I would understand if that was my husband and that's what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's something that I wanted to do, I just don't think that he would be able to be like, you know what? Because the compromise got to go one of both ways. You know what I mean? A little bit of both, right? So I jumped out here. I didn't know what the hell I was jumping into. I had
Right.
no idea. I had no clue. I knew nothing about trucking, but I did it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people do. A lot of women do, and not every situation ends up tragic.
Mm-hmm. So let's back up. You said you were married.
Hmm.
You were in trucking while you were married.
I was in trucking before I got married.
Okay. So did your career play a part in your marriage? And I don't want to go too deep. It's just a
That's
yes or
why
no.
I'm choosing my words wisely.
It's just a yes or no. I mean, did your career affect your marriage? Because my
The
career,
only the only way it affected my marriage is I wasn't there to see what was going on behind my back.
exactly, and that's the same thing happened with a lot of drivers. Not just you, me
Hmm.
also.
Right.
You're on that highway, week, 7 days, 2 weeks, three weeks, a month, or whatever, and you don't know what's going on at home, right? And that's
Hmm.
what I mean by it's hard on the marriage. It's
Right.
hard
I agree. Yeah.
being an overall job is hard on the marriage. And when I did get divorced, I said to myself then, I said, well, if I'm ever going to get married again, I can't be on the road because I can't nurture my marriage being on the road and being in love.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
It's understood.
Right. Absent doesn't always make the heart grow fonder.
No.
So for me, my wife, she has no desire to be on the road, first and foremost. But I always thought about it. What if she decided that she wanted to be on the road? What if she decided she wanted to drive trucks? I would have to make a sacrifice and say, okay, you can drive trucks, but we going teams. How do you feel about that?
Me?
Hmm. If they said you want to go out there on your own, you want to be solo, but you meet a guy that says, I'm a protector. He doesn't have a new school mentality. He has an old school mentality. If you're gonna be out there, I'm gonna be with you, and we're gonna do this together. Now, well, where would you be on that?
That depends. Was I already in trucking like I was before I got married?
No, right now, you in trucking right now, and you meet somebody,
I don't
right?
see that. Because here's the thing. I told you already that that situation with that rollover when I was teaming,
Mm-hmm.
that threw me from having anybody else in the truck ever, ever. So whether it's my husband or whoever, I have a problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
That run deep because that thing hurt. Okay, so I can't say that I'd be like, okay, no,
Mm-hmm.
I've been
And
doing just fine.
and that's a good point. That's a good point because I can understand that because now when I meet you, you're already trucking,
Right.
so I have to accept that as a man. See what I'm saying?
Yep.
I can accept that, or I could take it, or I could leave it. And
Right. You have that option either
right,
way.
right.
Yep.
I get that. But if you didn't have that anxiety and you wasn't already trucking, but you wanted to get into trucking, and you had a significant other, would you be okay if you didn't have that anxiety?
Sure.
Okay.
Wait. Do he got experience? I'm just asking. I'm for a friend. Oh,
Yeah, he got experience.
Okay, cool.
Somebody got to be experienced, right?
Somebody got to have something.
Somebody got to have some kind of driving experience. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm
Yep.
with you on that. I'm with you on that. But that's where I was with it when I made that statement. Was that I? It's a safety and a security risk for me when it
And I
comes
saw that.
and for my wife, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
and then I said, well, I can't speak on other cultures because I've seen Latin women in trucking, but most of the time when I've seen them in trucking, they're with their husband or boyfriend or significant other or whatever it is, right? And I
Right.
know what I've seen. What I've seen females in trucking is that they're either single, LGBTQ plus, or it's complicated.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm,
Yeah. But
is that the going rate, or are there no over the road? I'm saying over the road because I know plenty of women drivers who drive for the city, right?
mm.
Is that the going rate for female truckers now? Is to be single, LGBT plus, or is complicated?
I would say that's the majority,
Mm-hmm.
but I know women who have husbands that are over the road
Mm-hmm.
by themselves. So I can't say that's 100%. No.
Right, nothing's
But I
100%.
think that that's the goal for most women, to be able to do it with their husbands.
Mm-hmm.
That's just an opinion. That's not, fact or anything like that. But
None of this is fact. I don't have any data. Right. It's hard for me. That's why. That's why um they got a guy on YouTube called the helpful trucker.
I
He
think
kind
I said,
right. He kind of help out, and I think that as men, I think that's where our mind has have to be when we see female truckers. Period. Is that you have to have a mind frame of the helpful trucker. Meaning,
okay,
go ahead.
pause,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
because that all depends on the type of woman you encounter. Because you got a whole lot of different types. You got the type that'll be grateful for the help. You know what I mean? You got the type that'll be like, don't talk to me, I don't know what you want. I got a man, all that crap. You got the ones that are um gay or whatever, and they'll, oh, I don't even like men. I don't even, whatever. And then you got all different types. So it depends on who you encounter, because it's okay to be helpful. But these days I've learned, let them ask for help,
So
because huh?
so that's what me and the Flatbed Diva was talking about when we did our interview, and that was something that I want to. And like I said, I would love for you to be a part of that panel. Uh, we want to talk about how we can close the gap between what you just said. So, what do you think we can do to close that gap?
Okay, 2 points. that one gap, folks need to just grow up. I mean, not everybody that say hi is trying to holler at you.
That's exactly
You
what.
know, and but it's real though. You know what? It's a lot of them that think that for some crazy reason. You can just be cordial. Hey, how you doing? I speak to people all the time and don't get a response. And a lot of them be black women. Bother the hell out of me. I don't know what that's about. And especially when you go into shippers and receivers, they the same way there.
Mm.
They the same way at the truck stop. If they work there, I don't know what it's about. But there are plenty that aren't like that. You just gotta
And
figure who depending on who you come into contact with.
that kind of bothers me because I'm not necessarily being a protector to them, but when you see somebody and they're trying
Struggling.
right, whatever it may be, trying to tie down a load, trying to figure
Yeah.
out how to get the load tied back down, trying to figure out how to jackknife in between these two trucks or whatever the case may be. And I get out and I say, hey, let me help you. And then they be like, I don't need your help. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And
And
make it worse for everybody else who do need it.
and then when you see somebody else down the line, you be like, okay, this is you got it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so that's what we were talking about, man. And me and Miss Kathy MacArthur, we were saying, man, let's try to see if we create that podcast, that panel to kind of address this. Because like you said, I seen a gentleman on I just started following him. I forgot his name, but he did a short video on talking to those ladies. He said, "Look, ladies, we're in truck, and you guys are in trucking." And he said, "I'm talking to the ones who are getting on here, and you're climbing in the truck, and the first thing somebody see is you got
Your
on
ass.
climbing in the truck. But then you get mad when they come at you
Yep.
in the way that they come at you. Now, does the way a woman dress warrant her to be handled in a certain way?
No,
It
but
does,
it
but
depends on what you're doing because you can see it clearly in all these videos. You can see it.
mm-hmm,
Man, the first thing people do, they do turn around. You got a picture of the video starting, your ass poked out. Like, why?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm,
you don't want that. I
mm-hmm.
had I put together a female trucker calendar in 2020.
Yeah, I read that. You talk about that. Because I've never, you know what, you're the first person that I've heard to even say you put together a female trucker calendar.
Hmm.
That's the first time I've ever heard that. So, what made you do
Because of what we're talking about.
it? Okay.
Because I wanted people to see what women truck drivers look like, not doing all that extra shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I received a few photo submissions that weren't quite right, and I had to really explain what the calendar was about.
Mm-hmm.
And but it came together beautifully. I mean, beautifully. Like it was over 130 women in that calendar,
Mm-hmm.
and it
130,
really
and it's only 12 months.
it wasn't. See, I put it together. I put it together because I wanted to involve everybody who wanted to be involved. So
Right.
what I did was I went by birth month. So
Okay.
everybody in the same birth month is in the same, you know what I mean, that
Got,
page.
got you. Got you. Got you. Got you. Got you. That's a good idea, man.
Yeah,
I mean, that was a good idea to do that. And
absolutely, man.
in the way you did it, you didn't make it seem like a competition. It was
No, right. That was the point.
right,
Yep.
right. It was just
And
all.
then I made it so that they could get some money on the side. You know
Mhm,
what I mean? Like their prices to buy them were way cheaper than everybody else's. So
mhm,
that if you wanted to buy in bulk and sell them yourself, you keep that money. That's you.
Right, right.
It's
That's
just something for you to do extra if you want to.
so you did that to show that we do have women truckers that don't do that because, like you just said, how does it make you feel as one of those truckers who have a passion for this, who does what she does? How does it make you feel when you see those type of female truckers? And
It's just
how does it make you feel?
I feel like they're putting themselves and others in danger
Mm-hmm.
because we have um a, a new bunch of truckers coming through, and a lot of them are young. And I'm not talking about just women, I'm talking about guys too.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't know what's coming through here, you know what I mean? Like we was real, incognito. Like, we wasn't trying to let you know that who we was. If I'm driving at night and I park, I'm not gonna turn my light on before I close my curtains.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to know I'm a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want nothing outside decorating my truck saying
Mm-hmm.
that I'm a woman.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying that there's something wrong with the women that do. Some want that, you know what I mean? And that's on you. That's great. Just
Mm-hmm.
be careful in everything you do.
It's all
I
about.
never done you for it. That's your thing. Me personally, I don't need you to know. I don't need you to know because if you come through here, all I know is you ain't walking back out. That's all I know.
And that's what I'm just kind of like how, like I said, the gentleman was saying, hey ladies, be careful. You know what I'm saying? Don't expose yourself like that. I know that everybody know that sex sells.
Right.
But what
And
does
you proud of yourself, you proud of your body, you proud of what you're doing. That's great. But it's a way to do it that will keep you way safer
Mhm.
than, a lot of the stuff that I've seen.
Right. And I don't even want a man or a woman to get themselves caught up in a situation to where you would have to say, hey, I didn't ask for it because of the way I dressed. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? Or the way I posted my pic, or the way I did on TikTok. I wasn't asking for it just because of that. Because, like I told you before, even if any female that I see, it's all about safety.
Right.
It's all about safety, and I don't care what you do. And then and then to treat uh organic help from another truck, or to treat it like it's somebody at you with a dollar bill on
Right.
your.
Trying to put it in your G string or something. That
Exactly.
ain't cool.
That ain't
Mm-mm.
that.
Because here, let me tell you, I used to go when I didn't have great trainers, obviously.
Mhm.
So I learned a lot of my trucking on my own by trial and error.
Mhm.
I got out here and I messed up and I fixed it. And I learned how to fix it because at first I didn't know how to fix it.
Mm.
But when I didn't know, I ain't had no problem. Hey, you sitting there looking at me with your camera, get on out here and spot me real quick. Well, don't just sit there and look. You
Right.
know, come
Mhm.
on. I ain't had no problem with that at all. At all. So, but when you're doing things like that, you still got to keep in mind where you at, what time of day it is, who's out there, how many people is out there, is there cameras? I'm not gonna just walk up to nobody in the middle of nowhere, ain't nothing out here, but a dirt lot. Nah. Mm-mm.
And
No.
and that's my whole that's my whole mental about my wife being on the road, and or you get on the road and where wanted to do. And my wife wanted to be in the industry,
Yeah.
and she asked me, she said, well, what is it that you want to do? What is it that you would do if you were driving trucks? I told her I training. I would start an academy, and she took off from there.
And
She took off.
that's good. That's beautiful because that's what we as women do. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
that's some nurturing shit.
Yep.
You know. That's what we do. And to have for her to have you fully supporting the thing and she supporting you and what you do, that's great. That's absolutely the goal right there.
Mm-hmm.
But so many that,
And
have
that's
tried, but
yeah, and that's why I say, man, your dad is he's lucky. He got y'all, and I know.
man,
Say, talk, speak on that.
man, I called him the other day. I'm like, bruh, I need you and that other driver to go do a drug test. Why? Because we need you to do it. It need to be on record. Go get it done. I tell you. I
Speak on.
mean,
You know what? I've had you on here for an hour, and I please keep in contact with me. I'll keep in contact with you. I follow you. I look at your TikToks, and I will be in contact because I am going to do that panel. I want you to keep all of those things in mind about how we can bridge the gap, how we can be, even if it comes as far as being able to talk to these youngsters at least once a month, something like that over these airways. I want you to keep that in mind because I got Miss Kathy and I got two fellas that I got, and we just gonna sit on here and we just gonna talk about it from a male female perspective.
let's
Uh,
do it.
let's end with this. Tell me your relationship because I love it. You just spoke on, when women get behind men, it's a beautiful thing. When they're in business together in this transportation industry, it's a beautiful thing. Whether it's mother daughter, whether it's I'm sorry, whether it's father daughter, whether it's husband wife, whether it's girlfriend boyfriend, whatever it is, it's a beautiful thing when women get behind men and men get behind women in this industry. Tell me your relationship with your dad and your sisters and in your company, and like you just told a funny story of your dad wanted to know why he needed to take a drug test. We need it. So let's
Right.
end on that
That
note.
clean house.
Yeah, yeah. Let's end on a positive note because I think that's real positive. Tell the viewers your relationship with your sisters, your dad when it comes to your company.
When it comes to the company, we just easy going, man. Everybody got their thing that they do, and we check up on one another, and we make sure everything get done. That's all. I mean, it don't have to be a struggle. It never has to be a struggle. A lot of people think that when you get into business with family, it'll be a problem because of money. But if you're not selfish and you're not only looking out for yourself, you ain't got to worry about that. You need to know your folks.
How
And
how
that's family or friend.
how easy it is it to communicate with your dad?
I gotta catch him when I catch him, cause he think he 21, and I have to remind him constantly. And he tell other people that I think I'm his mama, but he need that.
So who dispatches the truck? You or your sisters?
Well, being how we run with this contract, we don't need to dispatch. They
Even
run as many loads as they want to
so
a
that.
day.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. I got you. So it's a self sufficient type of
Yes,
it's
your
a
check look like what you want it to look like.
right. Right. Okay. Okay. Good deal, man. Bro, you took me out when you said why I need to go take a drug test.
Child, he took me out too. Talk about why? What you mean why?
he,
Mm-mm.
he forgot. He forgot he's still part of DOT.
Dad, don't take that test. You'll be frying fish tomorrow, him. Mm.
Selling fish dinner.
That
Woo! Say, Rachel, I've took up an hour of your time. I want to say thank you so much coming on. I want to say thank you for taking out the time. It didn't got dark where you are. I know you
yeah.
lay it down. Once again, tell people how they can reach you on your social media handles. Give everybody your nonprofit. If somebody's looking for to get into your business, how they can contact your business to see if your guys are taking on more trucks, more revenue. How can they get in contact with
Rachel Barnes on Facebook, and The Diesel Diva on TikTok and also Instagram. Um, yeah, just message me whatever you want to know, whatever it's about. Holler at me. As long as it's trucking related, we good. What? You just keep laughing, man. I don't even understand.
I'm trying to figure out. Now, see when this. I'm trying to figure out. Now you got a gentleman.
You breaking up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Now you got a gentleman that's sitting back and he's sliding to your DM and he say, "Man, I seen you on the Freight Traffic podcast, and I just want to know, can we have a conversation?" And you say it's got to be about trucking,
Right.
but he don't want to talk. Let me tell you something. Why I say this? True story. I met my wife. I sent her to a DM because she was doing she was doing something. She was doing something that men do.
Mm-hmm.
She was doing something that men do, which at the time I didn't know it was fake, but it just kind of piqued my interest.
Right.
I smoke cigars.
Yeah.
So she was on Instagram, she was doing her little video. I didn't even notice that it wasn't no smoke coming from the cigar. It was just lit up.
Okay.
So it was fake. I didn't pay attention to that. But the way God works is I got something for you. I'm gonna make it attractive to you because without that, you'd have never seen it.
Right. Yep.
I didn't notice it was fake because if I'd have noticed it was fake, I'd have knew that okay, she ain't for real.
Right.
With the cigar thing, not as a person.
Right. No, 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 I get it.
And so it drew me to her. And then once it drew me to her, I knew that she was for me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I slid in her DMs. Right. And,
Okay.
and that's why I say sometimes I understand, the hesitancy when it comes to DMs and sliding in the DMs, all of that. And then we're going to end on this. I know you don't want to get a game away, but how could someone slide into your DM without it being about trucking and it being about you? As
Be original.
but that is original.
No, it's not. Do you
Well,
know what it looks like most days? Good
y-
morning, beautiful. Hey, queen. This,
yeah,
that. Listen, something that
but
should be something that should be good,
hmm
like being called a queen, has
hmm
become so generic and overused and misused that it's annoying now.
man, my wife does not call me a king whatsoever.
That it's the same thing because it's a trend. It's not real.
That's the first time being fake, being a game, running game,
Yeah.
or just. So what? Hey, good morning. How you doing? I seen your video, and I just think that you're someone that I would like to get to know.
Okay. But like I said, be original. Don't
Exactly.
come with the same thing that you got when you back out of that conversation. You see that same heading on like 15 other messages you just started. Don't do that. That's not cute. And I'm gonna let you know, sugar him. Okay, I'm gonna let you know because my block game's strong. It's strong. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Miss Rachel Barnes. It has been a pleasure. You dropped the mic and you blacked yourself out because it got dark.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, once again, I just want to say thank you for taking out your time to be on my podcast, giving me hour and 10 minutes of your time, your experience. Hey, y'all, if you want to catch Miss Rachel Barnes, aka the Diesel Diva, that's our handle on TikTok and Instagram, Facebook handle Rachel Barnes. Y'all go if y'all got any questions for her as a female trucker in this industry. I'm sure she has a nonprofit. Y'all want to get the calendar? Are you going to do another calendar?
I don't think so. But if I do, it won't be no time soon.
It was that hard. Okay, but that was a good idea. But
Yeah, it did well though. It was good.
but we're here to help all of you young truckers, male,
Absolutely.
female, like-minded, or whatever. We just want to make sure that you're going to receive the help in the way that it's right,
Right.
in the way that it's. So I want to say thank you. I want to say I applaud you for coming on and being a part of the podcast, giving us a moment of your time, letting us know about the surface of you. Cause I don't like going too deep, but I like to go just deep enough. And
Right.
appreciate you. We made a connection, man. I'm gonna laugh. We're gonna get together again on that idea I told you about, and we're gonna talk about this thing.
Absolutely. Definitely. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time as well.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, and you have a nice night. Be safe on that road, and we will talk to you soon.
All right. Later.
Later. Yes, that was Miss Rachel Barnes. Thank you for coming in and talking with us today on the Freight Tapping Podcast. And we are done, man. That's how our interviews go. It's really organic. You talk about what you want to talk about. I just want to know about your career in trucking, your advice to any young trucker getting out there. Man, hit me up at the Freight Trapping Podcast at gmail.com. Um, let's get on here. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about some things you've encountered. We can create other dialogue. We can talk about other things. And it's not just about that, it's also about health, wealth, and understanding each other as we move forward. So hey man, thank you guys for being watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please understand, like, subscribe, share the videos, anything you see on our panel. I don't give no strikes because it's not about money with me. If it's something I said you want to debate, or if it's something I said you don't agree with, we could talk about it on your platform or on my platform. It doesn't matter because it's all about getting an understanding in this industry, right? So man, thank you guys for being tuning in. I will talk to you guys later, and um I will talk to you guys later. You guys be safe. You guys be safe. Have a good weekend. And let me see here. Let me find my theme music. Y'all wait a minute. Let me find my theme music one time. Be safe, and I will get with you guys later on. Please enjoy the rest of your evening. Please enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will talk to you guys later.